Okay, how to program a brand new Hunter timer. You've got it installed. You can see the date and the timer over here. So the first thing we have right here is, if I get up close on the right hand side, we'll see current date and time. Well, obviously that means there's going to be more than one thing here. Right now we see time, so there's other things that you can adjust there. So if I turn there, it starts blinking. That's the year, and then plus or minus right here in the center will change that. So if I put my thumb up here and we go change that to, hit the plus a couple times, 2017. Now we're done there, hit the forward arrow. Now the month blinks. So if you look right here, you can see it says 1 through 12 calendar pages. So again, hit the plus sign, change the month to April, which is currently where we're at. And then we're going to hit the forward arrow to go to the next thing, which are, as you see here, 31 calendar days. So we're going to change that. Today is Tuesday, and it's Tuesday the 11th. So I'm going to hit the plus sign a few times until we get up to the 11th. We're done there. Hit the forward arrow. And then AM or PM is here in the corner. So, and it's currently PM. So I'm going to change that by hitting plus to PM, and it moves to the corner up there. You can also hit this again if you wanted military time. If you accidentally did do that, and it showed the number 24 up in that corner instead of PM, just hit the minus sign one time, and that'll back you back up to PM. And again, if it wasn't PM, I could hit it again backwards and go to AM. So it is currently PM. So next, we are going to set the time. So I'm going to hit the forward arrow, make the hour blink, and I'm going to take the plus sign, change that to what current time it is, and it is currently 4. And I'm going to hit the arrow over here on the right to move to minutes. Use the plus sign to, I said 4:15? 14. And 4:14 is our current time. And then we have the hour and the minute set. If I go forward again, it just brings us back to the year. So we're done under current date and time. This timer does not have an active rain sensor. If it did have a rain sensor, that switch would need to be pulled down to the active mode. So next, we're going to pull it over here to start time. So this is what time we want the sprinklers to kick on for the first time for the day. We only need one start time to turn them on, and then they will run sequentially one after another all by themselves without a second start time. So first time of the day, let's say we're going to set this, I'm hitting the plus sign, and if I hold it down, it'll just go real fast, and we'll get to, let's say, 7 a.m. If I went too far, hit the minus, back up to 7 a.m. So as you can see, 7 a.m. is our start time. Now in the summer, if it's really hot and you wanted to add a second watering time, you go forward with the arrow, and there's the option to put in a second watering time. If you scroll down, you would be coming down from midnight. You can put an evening watering time in there. Again, in the fall, if you wanted to get rid of that second watering time, typically this is where you'd be when you turn here to start times. You come over here, hit the forward arrow, move over to the second time of day that it's set to run, hold down the minus sign or the plus sign, whichever is going to get you to midnight first. As soon as you get to midnight, it'll say off. The next position is off. So, and then you're done. You can move it back to your start time, and you'll just have the one time a day. Okay. Next, the different zones. So we have roughly, on this house, we're going to do 10 minutes per zone, and then 6 and 7 are drip. I know that because I did the wiring outside. So they're going to have a different watering time for the spring. For right now, we can set the lawn zones up for about 7 minutes apiece. And we'll do that for each one. Again, I'm going forward each time and put the time in for each different zone. Go forward again. And if you go too far, let's say I went to 8 minutes, minus moves you back a minute. Then I'm going to go to number 5, which is drip. That's our front drip. I'm going to hold that down and go to about 15 minutes. See, I went too far, so I can hit the minus sign and back us back up to 15 minutes. Then go forward to zone 6. Drip again. Hold it down on the plus sign. I went too far. Back up with the minus sign. Get us back to 15 minutes for the drip. And then this does have station 7 and 8 because this is a 8-station Xcore timer. If you only have a 6-station timer, this next position would have showed you the total runtime for the A program. So here we have station 7. There's no runtime because it doesn't exist. And there is no station 8. If I hit it again on this 8-station timer, it says to run all of his zones, number 1 through number 6, takes 58 minutes. So if they come on at 7 a.m. in the morning, 2 minutes before 8, they will be off for the day if there's not a second time for them to run. So then again, we hit it again, just a big loop, comes back around from the beginning, or I can back up to whatever zone I want from reverse with the left arrow. Okay, these are just like you're checking email, forward and backward, get to what you want. If you go all the way to the end, it comes back to the beginning again. Next, water days. As we can see in the A program, it will blink on Monday when you show up because you need to know where you're at so you can know whether to move forward or backwards. So here, we're going to use the forward arrow, and we're going to go every other day for right now for springtime. So we're going to go plus to leave Monday in there. Notice it then moved to Tuesday all by itself. Tuesday we don't want in there, so we're going to hit minus, and then it moves to Wednesday all by itself. We're going to hit plus to keep it. It moves to Thursday, minus to get rid of it, plus for Friday to keep it, minus for Saturday to get rid of it. So now you can see drops of water on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It will now water 4 days a week. If I leave there and take the dial and put it back to run and come back down a few days later or during the summertime now, and I want to run it every day, it's going to show up on Monday and be blinking. So you know where you're at, and then you just put all of these days are going to be pluses with the plus sign. So I'd go plus, 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 plus. Okay, now it waters Monday through Sunday. Okay, but again, we don't want to do that, so I'm going to back up real quick, and I'm going to use the back arrow to get us back to Monday, and then I'm going to go plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Now it waters every other day. Season adjust. Let's say they say it's going to be 100. Right now you can see it'll do 100% of what we told it to do. So if we told it up here that we wanted it to run for 7 minutes on the lawn, it's going to do 100% of what we told it to do, unlike most teenagers in your home. Otherwise, down here, let's say it's going to be 113 degrees, and the weatherman says for the next 3 days. Well, you don't want to have to change all of these to more watering time, and then 3 days later it goes back to normal weather, and then you've got to come back over and change them all back, right? So instead you can come down here to season adjust. It's normally at 100%, so it'll do what we told it to do here, and instead we can come up and use the plus sign. Now watch the lines, they'll move with me. We can use the plus sign and increase it to 150%, if that's what we want. Take the dial, put it back to run. Now just to check yourself for funsies, come down to your run times, and there's our original 7-minute run time for zone 1, plus 50% more run time. So it added 3 more minutes. Okay, and the cool thing is if you come here with the forward arrow, it did it for station 2, 3, 4, and remember 5 and 6 were 15 minutes, so I should have added 7 minutes to make them 22, correct? And you can see there's 22 on that one, 22 on that one. So it added, if I go past 7 and 8, because there's nothing there, and add up the program time, it went from 55 minutes or 58 minutes, and added 50% more runtime. So now a couple days later, the weatherman goes, okay, we're back to normal 90-degree weather for the summer. I can come back down here to our season adjust with the dial, take the minus sign, and take us back down to 100%. And you saw the lines moving with me. Put the time back into run. Now watch, if I go back down to run, there's my watering times have all been changed back to their normal 100% of what they originally were. So one move takes care of moving them all. This clock does not currently have a solar sync, so there won't be anything set for solar sync. If you have that, there's adjustments in the manual that will tell you how to set that. You use plus or minus and move forward and set what zone. Today we're not going to be showing that. Now, manual 1 zone, over to the left here. Let's say your gardener or your neighbor told you, hey, I think something out in the front yard is spraying 10 feet out in the street. Well, you don't want to have to sit and get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and wait 58 minutes for the front drip to kick on. So instead, you can come over here to manual 1 station. It defaults to zone 1, which is a lawn zone. So we don't want that. We want zone 5, because that's our front drip. So I'm going to use the arrow to move us over to which zone we want to manually water. So now it says zone 5, that's our front drip, and we will manually water just that one zone. As soon as it blinks a few times, turn it to run, and there goes the sprinkler icon on the screen right there. If you look, a little sprinkler pops up. Zone 5 is now running, and it will run for 15 minutes. When it's done, it will shut off. So that gives you time to walk out there, check it out, and if you see that there's an issue, you can walk back in and go, yep, I know where the problem's at. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. And then you can fix it, and then you can always come back and check it. Now, let's say you mowed the lawn, you fertilized everything, you're done, you guys are getting ready to go out on a date, and you guys want to run the sprinklers to water in all the fertilizer, but you don't want to have to stand here for 7 minutes times spore zones, 28 minutes. Instead, you can come over here, make sure it's in run, go over to the forward arrow, and hold that down for 5 seconds. So I'm going to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On comes zone number 1, which is one of our lawn zones. Now I can go back in the house, go get my shower, go get cleaned up, and it's going to run number 1, shut off, 2, shut off, 3, shut off, all the way through 6, shut off, and be ready to go for the next day. Anytime you want to water this timer, any time of the day, you walk out here, let's say you had it off. So right now, if I wanted to not run it, I shut it off. When it quits blinking, it's actually off outside, okay? So if it's raining or whatever, you can put it to the off mode. Then if it's back to springtime and you're ready to water again, put it back to run and you're ready to go. Now, if you forgot and left it off for a week or two and you're going, now what do? I need to water, but I don't want to wait till tomorrow. Everything's really dry. Again, walk out here, make sure your timer that was sitting in off is in run. Walk over, take the forward arrow, hold it down for a few seconds till you see the clock change over here. As soon as it does, you're good to go. If you wanted to walk around with the misses or just walk around and check each zone, you could go back right now, check zone 1, so back lawn, check it out, everything's adjusted good. You could hit it again and it'll move to zone 2, so you don't have to wait 7 minutes to go check the other zones. So you can check zone 2 if everything looks good there, hit it again, move to 3. If you accidentally hit 4, whoops, I hit 4, just hit the back arrow and back up to number 3. And now you're good to go. So, and that's really how this timer is run. It's nice and simple. So again, when you don't need it, turn it off. When it quits blinking, it is off. For battery replacement, you pull down on both sides of the front of the timer here. You take a look in here, you can see where you could put a rain sensor eventually right here if you wanted to. It wires up to 2 leads on the power. These pop, the little plate pops out and the other 2 leads pop in here. If it's a Hunter timer or rain sensor, you cut the orange wire off and attach it right here. The 2 power leads go right here and they're color coordinated. They're yellow just like the power. Make sure you unplug the transformer before you do that. You cannot install a rain sensor on this timer with power on the clock. So, and that's because they don't want you to get electrocuted. And then here is the battery compartment. You can see we can take the Phillips screwdriver out. Again, if you wanted to, you could unplug it just to be safe. And then you could get in here and work without worrying about hitting the leads under here and getting shocked. And that's about it for now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, feel free to email us or put a comment and we'll get back to you. As usual, like us, share, and subscribe.